Voluntary smile versus genuine smile.
Now, voluntary smile versus genuine smile. Now, this also remember if while I was teaching you this Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy, remember, it's the ipsilateral palsy of the half of the face, right? In supranuclear Bell's palsy, supranuclear lesion of facial nerve, what was happening? It was involving the contralateral lower quadrant of the face, because upper half of the face has a bilateral representation. बेसिक सही है. सुप्रा फेशियल नर्व याद रखना इंपॉर्टेंट है. फेशियल नर्व पे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. सुप्रा न्यूक्लियर लीजन एंड इंफ्रा न्यूक्लियर लीजन. Now, same was in facial nerve injury also. That a person with having ipsilateral hemiparesis of the facial muscles, so you know that usme Bell's palsy mein kya hota hai, the facials all they will be blank faces because of all the muscles they will be paralyzed, and this is a lower motor, so it will be a flaccid paralysis. So what happens is the normal side will pull the muscles to the opposite side, so his lips and will be pulled to the normal or the opposite side, and when he'll try to blow, air will come out through the affected side, and all these things. He'll chew food, it will collect into the vestibulogingival vestibule between the gingiva and the cheeks. They were dribbling of saliva and all these things of facial method. Basically what was there was when he was trying to attempt to smile, his lips will be even more pulled on the opposite. एक होता ना खामोश से बैठे हुए हैं without any expression, so that others may not admire or not appreciate what, I mean, if this person is suffering from this paralysis. ऐसे बंदे होते हैं. I mean, unfortunately, if somebody is suffering from this Bell's palsy, he will try to make out as less expressions as possible so as to hide his paralysis. But if he attempts to smile, his face will be pulled towards the opposite side, right? Making his smile even more, distorted, right? So, let's read it, whatever it's written here. Motor cortex is required only for voluntary movements. Remember this now. As I was telling you, area number 4 is for your corticospinal tracts, right? So motor cortex से जो fibers आते हैं, they are involved. Even number 6, remember, even number 6 was involved with association with area number 4. It was involved in the muscles of the voluntary muscles of the lips. But there was extrapyramidal tract, like the basal nuclei, the gray matter embedded within the cerebral hemisphere is called basal nuclei, and they were part of the extrapyramidal tracts, right? So there are also inputs reaching to those muscles of facial expression through the extrapyramidal tracts also, right? So if there is a lesion of this pyramidal tract or the cortex, because remember यहाँ पे जो point ले, the cortex controls the motor cortex required for the voluntary muscles movements of the eyes, right? But involuntary contraction of the skeletal, don't forget that skeletal muscles do contract involuntarily, okay? And that is in case of autonomic or subcortical response through the extrapyramidal tracts. So have you seen a stroke patient? If you've not seen it, patient is stroke. Stroke means if there is a hemorrhage in an artery supplying to this motor cortex or even the internal capsule. So what happens is after a stroke, there will be an attack of paralysis, hemiparalysis in case of injury to the area number 4 or 6. So this will person, because that was also carrying this corticonuclear, corticobulbar fibers also reaching to the facial nerve nucleus also. So obviously that person will suffer from supranuclear Bell's palsy. And supranuclear Bell's palsy mein what was affected part was contralateral lower quadrant of the face was involved, and that includes the lips of that side. So this smile will be distorted. When he'll attempt to smile purposefully, that will be distorted. You know, smile बहुत ज़्यादा जो होता है, ये being human beings, smile हम you know forcefully भी करते हैं, और एक चीज होती है involuntary, that's a natural smile. Even without any object in front, you sitting idle and smiling, sometimes imagining something beautiful. So what happens is this natural smile is a genuine smile, and now this smile also has this extra pyramidal connections, right? So in such cases, remember, of stroke patients or in case of Bell's palsy, there are there you find कि on giving voluntary commands to smile, or he himself voluntarily tries to smile, the face will become more distorted, but the natural or genuine smile persists. The when you smile, actually both the sides, it is this what is that called zygomaticus major and minor together, they pull the angles of the lip on both direction, right? Don't confuse with levator anguli. Levator word, whenever you come with levator labii superioris, levator anguli oris, when we talk about levators, levator means you are lifting the lips vertically above, and in pulling the lips vertically above, it deepens the nasolabial folds, that is for showing your upper teeth. But smiling and laughing, actually you pull the angles laterally, right? Obliquely, laterally and upwards, and for that mainly the muscle is zygomaticus major, but together both the muscles major and minor will also help you to smile. But because of Bell's paralysis, it's pulled to the opposite side, the normal side. But in natural smile, this genuine smile, this having extra pyramidal connections, his smile will be symmetrical, and will it stay symmetrical up till there is a genuine smile. Got it? So the stroke patient's voluntary smile will be lost, but natural smile will persist until there is a natural smile. There will be a symmetrical smile on both, both the angles of the oral fissure will be pulled equally and will be a symmetrical smile. Okay, so that was all about this smile, and it we've done.